Residents here did not hear the tornado sirens go off. WHAS 11's Joe Arnold continues our team coverage live tonight in Harrods Creek with why the sirens never blared in Jefferson County. Joe?
That's right, guys. I am, in fact, standing in the path of that tornado, which, as Doug said, crossed from Utica over here into the Prospect Harrods Creek area. You can see some of the massive trees here on River Road, Upper River Road, that have been felled by that tornado. But the people in this area, many of which have some pretty significant home damage, did not know about that twister until they heard it right over their heads.
I was asleep at 4:30 this morning, and I heard the proverbial freight train.
The first tornado warning Jerry Adams heard was the apparent tornado itself.
We started for the basement, and then when the noise finally died down, we started looking out to see what the damage was, and it's pretty extensive.
As the debris is cleared, WHAS 11 viewers have been calling and emailing, asking why Jefferson County sirens didn't sound that tornado warning. Well, for those folks who emailed or called our station asking why didn't they go off.
Oh, without a doubt, they should have. Without a doubt, for a tornado warning, we will always sound the sirens if we know there's a tornado warning. Right.
The MetroSafe director says he was wondering the same thing. The National Weather Service triggered his weather radio about 4:30 this morning. And when he turned on his TV...
Glenview Acres, St. Matthews, you guys are all under that tornado warning until...
The warnings were everywhere, except, of all places, at MetroSafe, the agency responsible for sounding the sirens, because MetroSafe didn't know. The way it's supposed to work is that the National Weather Service transmits a signal with a code for each county. So when Jefferson County gets a tornado warning, MetroSafe personnel manually trigger the sirens. But this morning, Hamilton showed us the feed tape of warnings it received. It shows Indiana and Oldham County warnings at 4:17 a.m., but no sign of the 4:31 a.m. warning for Jefferson County.
Just like anybody that chooses a cell phone, anybody that chooses a radio or a television broadcast, live, is they do get interrupted by interference that's occurring in the atmosphere. So we can only assume the storm itself, since the transmitter is at Floyd Knobs, the storm itself may have interrupted the signal.
Now, I did check today with the National Weather Service, and they spent several hours double-checking their system. They say there, in fact, was no problem whatsoever with them transmitting that signal out. They presumably think it was MetroSafe's antenna or whatever the signal coming in that's responsible for this siren malfunction in Louisville today. So what's MetroSafe going to do about all of this? We asked Doug Hamilton about that coming up at 6 o'clock. Right now, live at Harrods Creek in the Prospect area on River Road, Joe Arnold, WHAS 11 News.
Many residents right here in Jefferson County have told WHAS 11 News that they didn't hear those tornado sirens last night and in the morning, and they were right. The sirens were never triggered by local emergency management officials, even though it's now confirmed an EF1 tornado traveled over to Jefferson County from Indiana. WHAS 11's Joe Arnold joins us live from River Road. He's been getting some answers as he continues our team coverage. Joe?
Very little doubt, Doug, by the size of this tree behind me, it was in fact a tornado that came through here at 4:30 this morning. But for those folks who had to pass over and actually crash into their houses, they only knew it from the sound of the storm and not from those non-existent sirens.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was the first time I'd heard a freight train, but I know what it sounds like now.
What Jerry Adams didn't hear were any sirens warning her of a tornado. MetroSafe, the agency that manually triggers the siren, says its sophisticated system and rooftop antennas never received the warning from the National Weather Service, even though simple consumer weather radios apparently did.
We got in here to double check to make sure our equipment was functional and just assume that the radio signal skipped, got distorted, didn't make it to our receiver. We don't know.
MetroSafe is now looking at other ways to perhaps get the signal, but Hamilton says the agency also needs to rely upon the situational awareness of its staff to pay attention and anticipate before warnings need to be sounded.
If our monitors were on, we should have seen that it was headed our way.
And Hamilton says in his experience operating about 5,000 radios for some 59 metro agencies, he knows there is no 100% reliable radio transmission system. But for something as important as these kind of warnings, perhaps another hardline system might be an option in the future. On River Road, Joe Arnold, WHAS 11 News.